Hey, gang. Post-workout done. Just a little light work to stretch out the back. Your boy hates to admit it, but he's getting there. I'm still live from the 405. The wind is not whipping today, but it is a very, it's pretty chilly for Oklahoma, 49 degrees today. Uh, there's a trend that is becoming more and more prevalent in sports with specificity to football, and that is the "we got cheated" syndrome. That is the refs are in the pocket syndrome. That is the league and the networks are biased towards X team syndrome. And every year it becomes more and more prevalent. I don't know if you saw the news, but I don't forget if it was a governor of South Carolina signed a resolution to try to, in an attempt to go and try and force the playoff committee to allow South Carolina to participate in the college football playoff. Sir, can you please tell me where they do that? Where? Your favorite sports team, I want you to understand this, your favorite sports team did not win as many games as some of the other teams that are in the playoffs. And you are such a fan that you are going to use your position of power in politics to force a private entity to allow your team to participate in a playoff, knowing good and well that your team will probably be knocked out in the first round. This is not a knock on South Carolina at all. The Gamecocks had an amazing season. There were some games that they weren't supposed to win that they did knock out. There were some games but on the flip side of that, there's some games they should have won that they didn't win. So, me, as a person who 99.9% of the time can put my fandom aside and be realistic, the other 0.1 reared its ugly head earlier this year, actually last week, a week before last, I think it was, with the Georgia Tech game. That was last week, wasn't it? Yeah. So, win. What's the solution? Win. Every football game is played in 4 quarters. College football, 15 minutes. You have 60 minutes, the total of 1 hour, or more specifically speaking, in real time, more like 3 hours or 4 hours if you throw in commercials. You have 3 or 4 hours to give your best effort to defeat the team that is lined up against you. Now we're talking about, oh, well, they lost to Tennessee, but Tennessee's a top 25 team, so that's a quality loss. Oh, well, it's all about these quality losses. Listen, a loss is a loss no matter what way you look at it. And yes, okay, you lost to a team that is ranked high up in the rankings, but the reality of it is that you still lost. And as such, just win. Al Davis. Snoop used it as a lyric, and all I do is win. Al Davis said it best. Just win, baby. That's it. All you have to do is win. That solves everything. If you run the table, if you finish a 12-game season with 1 loss, if you finish a 12-game season with 0 losses, that eliminates a lot of the questions. Oregon understood the assignment. Texas understood the assignment. And yes, Texas didn't play a whole lot of top 25 teams, but Texas only had 1 loss going into yesterday's game against Georgia. Granted, it was to Georgia. It's just like, God, it was 10x years ago. There was a whole thing where Detroit was playing Dallas, I believe it was, and Megatron had a thing, and Megatron, it was a catch, it was a controversial call at the very end of the game or somewhere late in the 4th quarter, and I have a friend who is a Detroit Lions fan, and he went on a rant. And I pulled him to the side, and I said, man, look here, calm down. You had 3 3.95 quarters your team did to win the game, to put themselves in a position where they were ahead of Dallas at the end of the game. Therefore, the fact that a call that could be looked at as controversial at the end of the game was not the reason you lost the game. The reason you lost the game is because you did not put yourself in a position to win by being in the lead when the clock struck 0. Stop it. It's not a good look. Oh, the league cheated. Oh, the committee's biased. Win. Win your games. That's it. Win your games. You win your games. There's no question. (2022) University of Georgia went 12-0 and won the SEC championship. There was no question that they deserved to be in the playoffs. There was no question they deserved to be in the CFP. They ran the table. They won their conference championship. End of discussion. No question. Now, it doesn't hurt that they were also, they still had dominant defense. They had all of their offensive weapons. But come on, man. Your team does that, you got no problems. Now, I'm done ranting. Do better. Anyway, that's my rant for today. I'll catch y'all later. I've got to go take a shower and shave this rough Brillo pad looking crap, get it cleaned up, because I got to go to work tomorrow. Y'all have a great rest of your Sunday. Enjoy NFL football. Oh, by the way, have you heard? The Georgia Bulldogs are this year's SEC champions. Go Dogs!